Hello, Stuart here from Turbo Teaching, and in this video we're looking at how you can encourage your students to become independent learners. And particularly what we're focusing on is how you set up a task that encourages students to learn independently. Now, when setting up a task, there's 7 key things you need to do. The first one is you need to give the students guidelines. And you need to give the students guidelines regarding the learning objectives. You need to give the students guidelines regarding timings, how long they should be spending on a particular task, and you need to give the students guidelines regarding success criteria. What is a successful piece of work? What does a successful piece of work look like? Now, the second point, before the task actually happens, you should give the students an opportunity to think of ways that they can complete the learning objectives. Think of ways that they can complete the task. And a good way of getting them to do this is getting pairs of students or students in a group of 3 or 4 to brainstorm some ideas. Now, some students, they may come up with some really good ideas and they can then run with these in the lesson. However, others may struggle, and that's where point 3 comes in. Now, creating independent learners, it's a long process. It isn't something that can necessarily be completed in one lesson. It can take years and years of practice. So we've got to give the students some help, and we can give them help in the form of scaffolding. And scaffolding is a step-by-step guide as to what you have to do to complete the task. And within the scaffolding, there should be some timings, i.e. you should be spending 5 minutes on this point and 10 minutes on this, and so on. Now, a big point of independent learning is that you're making your own choices. So it's a really good idea to have different examples of scaffolding. So you can follow scaffolding A, or you can follow scaffolding B, or you can follow scaffolding C. So there is an element of choice there. And number 4, when the pupils are completing the task, the teacher should really step back a bit. There should be minimal teacher interaction. You want the pupils really thinking independently how they can complete the task. Now, if the students are stuck, you don't really want them coming to you. You want them thinking of other ways they can solve the problem. And there's 2 really good ways they can do this. The first, you can have the policy of ask 3 people before you ask a teacher. So the students are discussing problems with their partners and with their peers and thinking of solutions that way. Or you can create class experts. And to create a class expert, maybe you can give 2 students in the class extra information on the topic. And if a student is stuck, they can then go to these class experts to find out more information. Number 5, a key point of learning independently is being a self-regulator. You've got to understand what went well and what you need to do to improve. So ideally, you should be able to look at your own work and judge how good it is and assess what the strengths and weaknesses are. So in a lesson, in a task, you've got to create an opportunity for this to happen. And to do this, you've got to encourage some sort of peer assessment or some sort of self-assessment in the lesson. And that leads to number 6. So once the lesson is over, you need to look at the work, and as a teacher, you need to give the students some feedback, and that feedback has to be really constructive. The students need to be able to look at it, and they need to be able to act on it in order to improve. And that leads us to the last point, number 7. In the following lesson, you should give the students back their work with your feedback. They should read it, and then they should try and improve their work based on your feedback.